Hey everyone, what is going on? I'm Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy, and this is the Aquarius Full Moon Workshop. So, in true Aquarius fashion, there was a lot of things coming through that I want to talk about, but there's one specific thing that I think is going to be most beneficial that I want to really dig into a bit more. So, on that note, let's start with just going over the basics of Aquarius energy. So, Aquarius is a fixed air sign, traditionally ruled by Saturn. And then the modern rulership of Uranus is often affiliated with Aquarius. So if we're thinking about fixed air, what would that be? Well, a fixed air could be linked to a mindset, a belief, your ethics, your morals. And generally speaking, Aquarians, given its connection to Saturn, are very independent. They are strong-willed. They're extremely hard-working. They often have a mission or a purpose that they're wanting to bring to the collective. And so if we're comparing this to Leo, given right now it's Leo season, it can be the spotlight energy of one person of Leo versus the entire collective. So what's good for one versus what's good for all, hypothetically speaking. And so not even hypothetically speaking, but in the sense of if you're having to compare Leo versus Aquarius, where the direct comparisons here, right? One versus the collective. So you could think of like a ruler versus the kingdom. And how are we meant to put this all into a full moon setting? Now, with Aquarius energy linked to Leo, what is your mindset around being seen? What are your morals and ethics around power and leadership? What are you doing of service that is either putting you in the spotlight or putting you behind the spotlight to serve someone else? And are you wanting to recalibrate that with this full moon? There's also an energy too. I find a lot of clients either have strong Aquarius placements, especially Aquarius moon, is that they are naturally a bit more guarded with their emotions. They don't really allow themselves to be vulnerable. Sometimes this is just by design a little bit, with your soul having to maybe be more of a protective figure in your family. You have to like raise your family, or you didn't really have a choice. You had to be strongly independent in order to survive, in order to make ends meet, in order to be successful or to be seen. So there's also an element too, given that this full moon is an aspect to both Venus and Jupiter of double thumbs up. Is there space for you to be more vulnerable? Is there space for you to allow in more pleasure, more ease, more expansion without having to compromise your values, your morals, your ethics? If anything, can your values, morals, and ethics lead to more Venusian and Jupiterian themes? And the one final thing, if we're going to talk about mindset before we go into the chart and the astrology with this full moon, with your mindset, and we're going to dig into this a bit deeper later as well, but with your mindset, where are you making things more difficult than they have to be? And this is sometimes harder to spot because the ego can be very smart. It's also just trying to protect us from dying at the end of the day. But where is the mindset prohibiting you from making things easier, for allowing you to have more time, for you allowing you to have more rest, for allowing you to have more love in your life? So ponder that as we look at the chart, just so I can show you these transits that we're working with. So the Aquarius full moon is happening on August 1st, 11:31 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if we're looking at this chart, we see that the moon is at 9 degrees of Aquarius. So naturally, if you have Aquarius sun, moon, rising, you're going to be feeling this full moon. If you have prominent placements in that first decan, let's say 0 to 9 degrees of any fixed sign, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, or any air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, you will be feeling this very pronouncedly, but especially for fixed signs, because we have a lot of planets in fixed signs right now. There's 5 at the time of this full moon. So what does fixed energy mean? There is that determination, tenacity, loyalty. The shadow aspect can be stubborn, unwilling to change. So this is what I was talking about with the mindset proportion, especially given that the moon is making an applied square to Jupiter, and it's a wide opposition to Venus retrograde. But since Venus is moving backwards, The moon is going to be an aspect to it on Wednesday. So this week around this full moon, where are there opportunities to expand? Where are there opportunities to allow more pleasure in love, especially in these Leo themes? So creativity, the aspect of play, childlike joy, allowing yourself to be seen. And this is one thing as well that you can work with this full moon of, where do you want to be seen? Do you want to be seen in money? Do you want to be seen in love? Do you want to be seen in your community? Do you want to be seen in your family? Do you want to be seen in your profession? Do you want to be seen in terms of more fame or notoriety? Like, write this down too, and I'll put it in the prompts in the description of this video. But where do I want to be seen? So that you can be honest with yourself and allow the energies of these benefic planets to help the moon, to help your emotional well-being, to help your body. And that's interesting that there was something in my throat at that exact moment. Nothing is by coincidence, everything is by design, one of my beliefs, in the sense of, where are you holding back words? And this, again, in terms of where do you want to be seen and using your words, air, communication, of course, strongly linked to air energy, Aquarius being a fixed air sign. Remember, how can you use your words to allow yourself to be seen? So that would be a part 2 of, where can I use my words to be seen more in blank? And that can also just be comfortable saying those words to yourself to see how they feel in your body. The body is also a strong signification of the moon. And we can think about this in another way of, how does it feel when someone says they appreciate you, they appreciate your work, they appreciate your beauty, they appreciate your love? Noticing where that feels in your body when someone says, I love you, I love your work, I love your talent. Where does that sit in your body, so that you can connect with the feeling of that part of the body? So if you're wanting to be seen more in your marriage, in work, it doesn't matter. How does it feel in your body? What frequency as it vibrating at, so that you know how it feels. So you're kind of tricking the body in allowing that feeling to be felt when you say whatever it is you want to bring forth to be seen. Does that make sense? So we're kind of reverse engineering it in the sense of feeling in your body something that you already know to be true, or what you get common praise or validation for. And then knowing where that sits in your body, attaching the new belief, the new mantra, the new phrase that is going to allow you to be seen more in whatever area that you want. So for example, let's say you're wanting to feel strong in your body, for someone to be like, oh, you look really healthy. If you already receive validation for being a dutiful worker, it's like, great, I know what that feedback is. I just got strong feedback from my superior at my job last week. That made me feel blank. So now I'm going to want to feel that feeling when someone gives me a compliment about my health and my body. So then you sit with that, you hold that energy for as long as you'd like, ideally 1 to 5 minutes. If you set a timer, because sometimes we underestimate these things or overestimate, depending on how long you do these practices for, so that you can feel the strength of your body. We're attaching it to the words of, you feel strong, you feel powerful. Then you can just affirm it into, I feel strong, I feel powerful. The reason why I'm going into this a lot is because with the moon in Aquarius in such strong aspect to Jupiter in a fellow fixed sign, the more that we can do this as a habit, as a routine, that is going to be your reality. Another thing I want to bring up in terms of the Aquarius Leo axis is, what role are you playing in your life? Are you the hero? Are you the villain? Are you the victim? Are you the supporting character? Ideally, it is your life. You should be the main character. And this is something as well that, depending on your upbringing, your culture, everything that you've faced in your life thus far, you might have certain apprehensions to being in the spotlight, to be that main character. But at the end of the day, this whole life was designed for you to be the main character. That's what your soul wanted to be. And with that, Another exercise I want you to partake in is to write down what you are viewing, what you are taking in every single day. So write down the TV shows that you're watching, write down the movies that you've watched in the past 2 to 4 weeks, write down the podcasts, write down the books, write down the types of people that you are conversing with on a regular basis. Because here's the thing, and I've heard this from clients all over the world, walks of life, everything. When they're starting to feel a certain type of way about love or money or success, there was often something, there was a conversation at the workplace or a conversation from their spouse, or they were scrolling on social media, whatever it was that implanted that narrative, that belief into their subconscious, which now made them feel scarcity, lack, all the things that we generally don't want to feel. So if you are consuming content which is in alignment with your beliefs, ethics, morals, what you know to be true, including songs, including podcasts, including everything that you consume, it'll be that much easier to cultivate and create the reality. Because here's the thing, oftentimes when there is that scarcity, fear, doubt, it's because you're doing something that you've never done before. So if you've never done it before, there's likely to be a chance that there will be doubt of it being successful. And so if you try it once and you fail, it's like, well, I'm going to go back to what I know to be true. If you are now switching your boundaries and what you value linking to that Venus currently in retrograde in Leo, if you value certain things in relationships, at work, in love, in friendships, and the first time you go on a date, it's a disaster. You're like, oh, maybe I should just go back to an ex, or maybe I should go back to the old way of dating because that felt so much easier. Yeah, it felt easier, but wasn't good for you. We now want to shift and have faith in the work that even if you get knocked down 1 time, 2 times, 5 times, doesn't matter. You know what you're worth. So you're not going to go back to something that was never aligned, or that is no longer aligned, but potentially never aligned. You might have been conditioned to believe that that is what a successful job, relationship, mindset, income level was supposed to be. But now you know better. And now it's attuning yourself to that frequency every single day. That's the fixed way of success, of continually showing up and doing things in a way that is going to make you feel good, that is going to prove successful. And this is something that I was talking about before, in that where can things be easier? Where can you allow things to not be so difficult in your life? And that will allow everything to shift. Because if there was this belief of, well, it's not ethical to be wildly rich. Money is the root of all evil. I don't want to be rich. Bad things happen to people that are rich. People are corrupt when they're rich. Where did that mindset come from? Is it from TV show, movie, your parents, culture, religion? Also, this notion that I really have a hard time digesting, pun intended, is that carbs are bad. It's like, oh, I can't eat pasta. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. Carbs, fat, protein, they just get broken down to calories. Calories are energy. Also, there's carbs in fruit. There's carbs in vegetables. There's carbs in almost everything. So to say that carbs are bad, you're like saying all food is bad. It also just doesn't make sense. So you're allowed to question things that people say. I say it all the time, especially when I'm talking to people or like going on a first date. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Explain it to me. Because when things don't make sense, I'm not just going to nod along and take it on as truth. Because remember, your subconscious doesn't discern good or bad. It always believes what you say. Humans judge. God, goddess, source, universe does not. So if there are things that you are thinking that are not leading to a pleasurable result, like I have to work hard to make ends meet, does that make you feel good? Is that ultimately true? Are there ways where you can work smarter? Are there ways you can work with passion? Are there ways you can work dutifully to make ends meet? Are there ways you can work passionately, dutifully, with intent to make more money than humanly thought possible in the past? So that we're not attaching it to make ends meet. We're now attaching it to more money than I know what to do with, more money than I ever thought possible. Because again, you're the main character. You can have whatever narrative you want. And going back to, I have to work hard to make ends meet. Where did that belief come from? So that's the homework with this full moon, is where did that belief stem from? Does that make sense? Does this allow me to be seen in the area that I want? And again, you can be seen in money. Like, these relationships of being seen can be internal, how you see yourself in beauty, love, career, health. It doesn't have to be you're getting it from someone else. It can be getting it from you. So when you look in that mirror, you are jazzed, you are excited, you are in love. Because again, Leo and Aquarius, if we're talking about the I versus a collective, it all is going to start with mindset no matter what. If the ruler doesn't think that they're worthy of ruling, the kingdom is probably going to be in rough shape. If the kingdom thinks that they have to take in whatever the ruler has to say, that can also be a little bit tricky. And that's what that Aquarius energy comes in, of being a rebel, of being, and rebel in air quotes, because like, are they a rebel? Or are they just speaking the truth? Are they just questioning people's ideals and beliefs against an old, outdated structure? Patriarchy, for example. So this is something as well that even if you go from an astrological standpoint, you can just look at the Leo versus the Aquarius part in your chart and compare. That's probably where most of this activation is going to be for you, or potentially the houses, the areas of your life that you are going to want to be seen or to do some of this mindset work in. All right. So let me know if that resonates. Also, if you're wanting to work on this on a one-on-one structure, I can usually get down within the first like 10-20 minutes of a session of where the blockage is, where the limiting belief is, go back to where this first started, rework some things. I don't ever go slow in sessions, so to speak. I want to be able to use our time effectively, so we get right to the source, give the correct homework to get to the desired result as fast as possible. I attribute it to my moon in Aries. So if you're wanting to do this work one-on-one, I'll put the link as well if you want to book in a session. My books are open for the summer. You can use that resource if needed. Okay. Perfect. So we're going to end off with an easy meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes whenever you're ready. Whew. Taking a deep breath in and exhale. Coming back to your body, releasing any activity from the mind, drawing it down to the heart, breathing in and exhale. In the distance, you can hear waves from the ocean coming in and going out, coming in and going out. There's a calmness that spreads through your body. You have nowhere to be except to enjoy this moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Before you, you see a beautiful ocean. In the sky, the moon is full, glistening. The light from the moon glistens on the water like diamonds. And you feel called to immerse yourself in the water and allow yourself to float. There's no effort needed from you to do this. Your body is as light as a feather. And just bringing to the awareness of anything that might feel difficult or hard in your life right now. It could be pain, it could be an obstacle, it could be words from yourself or others that no longer align or resonate. It could be fears, doubts, limiting beliefs. Just allow that to come to the surface. This energy is no longer yours to carry. There are greater truths. There are new ideas. There's miracles, loves, higher forms of energy available to you. You feel a lightness now emerge in your head. You can feel the top of this part of your head vibrating, tingling. These old, antiquated notions are being released. There's a warmness that starts from the top of your head and flows all the way through your body. You notice that your heart has a gold light emanating from it. Love. Tuning into this frequency. The love that you have for yourself. The love you have for others. The love that you have for your dreams, your purpose, your truth. Truth. Tuning into this word. Love, truth, truth, love. Noticing an infinity symbol moving between the words love and truth. Your truth is your truth. You get to define this and no one else. Knowing that comes from a place of love, divine purpose, God, Goddess, Source, Universe. This is yours. It can never be taken away from you. And the beautiful part is, this truth gets to expand, to grow, to evolve with you. You get to change it, recalibrate it, to allow yourself to feel good, to feel pleasure, to feel excited and passionate about your life, about your journey, about your relationships. Thinking of love and truth, pick one right now to dive further into. Allowing that word to dissolve into your body, to notice what comes through. Allowing the energy codes, the light codes of this word to flow through your body and to be integrated as an anchor for you to ground with moving forward. Remember this word as it ties in strongly with your purpose at this point in your journey. Everything you need can be found through the lens of this word. Come back to this word on a daily basis and notice how your life shifts in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Slowly coming back to your body. Coming back to your breath. Taking a moment to give gratitude for the word that you chose or that felt intuitively correct. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, so how are we feeling? Of course, naturally, with any of these meditations that we do, feel free to come back at any time. You could also do it as a daily meditation to allow whichever word feels good for you to be the anchor for that day. Because what is time? So whether it is seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, it doesn't matter. But like we mentioned throughout this workshop, the fixed energy that is strongly activated in this Aquarius full moon with the square to Jupiter in Taurus, with the opposition to Venus retrograde in Leo, the more consistent you are with your practice, with mindset, with your beliefs, the easier all of this will become. Just like I'm sure you have a morning routine, an evening routine. You probably have a skincare regime where you brush your teeth every morning and night. Maybe when you were younger, you rebelled and didn't want to brush your teeth at night. And then maybe you got a cavity and had to pay some money. And you're like, I don't want to do that. I can just easily brush my teeth at night, or I can easily go to the gym, or I can easily do whatever it is that makes your life so much more pleasurable. If you know that there's a certain outcome that you want, affix the mindset to that outcome. Anything that's no longer in alignment will easily either drop away, or a new boundary, Saturn being the ruler of Aquarius, will come up. And then the journey gets to become easier and easier and easier until you get to the next big expansion where there might be some fear or some doubt, where you then get to restructure everything, look back on your journey, see all the hard work that you've done, all the dutiful work, all the organized processes that you implemented to consistently move forward. Take it one day at a time. And this also is coming through right now. So for those of you that need to hear it, if you're going through a really turbulent time, or going through a hard time, or going through a time where there's pain or confusion, you can easily affirm this is going to change very soon. Because we're going to bring in the element of Uranus that's often affiliated with Aquarius, the spontaneous change. This is going to change soon. This is going to end soon. This isn't going to last much longer. Affirm that so that you don't have to sit in a period of pain, and affirm it as often as you want throughout the day. This is temporary. This is so temporary. It's about to end soon. So that when you get to a period of bliss, of pleasure, of happiness, then you're like, I'm going to enjoy every single second of this. This is going to last a really long time. I'm going to be in this state for many, many moons. And then see how that feels, so that you can play with manipulating time or the energy of something that maybe doesn't feel pleasurable, so that you can get to the next part faster. A way that we can collapse timelines, okay? Time also being a very big part of Saturn. That will be another conversation. So let me know if this resonates. Let me know if there's any questions I can help answer. I will do my best to get back to them as soon as I can. And have a fabulous Aquarius full moon, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.